My name is Monica Marasco, and today I will be doing the video on the sheep brain dissection and the sheep brain anatomy. Here I have a list of all of the structures that I will be listing on my brain. So starting with the four lobes of the brain, we first have the temporal lobe up here. Then we have the parietal lobe, which is up and around here. And then the temporal lobe, which is down here, and then the occipital lobe, which is right here. Next is the gyri, which is it's a general structure for these ridges seen throughout the brain. And then the actual lines or grooves are called the sulci, which are these dark outlines right here. Next, we have the longitudinal fissure, which was this right here. It's where I cut the brain in half. And then we have the lateral fissure, which is the separation of the occipital lobe and this part of the cerebellum. Next, we have the corpus callosum, which connects the two sides of the brain. This is what I cut when I cut the lateral fissure. I also cut the corpus callosum to separate it. So that's located right around in here. It's not really showing up well on my camera, but it's right there. Next is the thalamus, which is this structure right here. As the name suggests, is the hypothalamus. It lies below the thalamus. And then the midbrain, move that off there. This right here is the midbrain. And then the medulla oblongata is protruding off of that midbrain right here. And then next is the cerebral cortex. There isn't one place where the cerebral cortex is necessarily present, but it's the cerebral cortex is all kind of around the brain. It's not a specific part in the brain. Next, we have the white matter. I know there's white matter throughout the brain and whatnot, but I find it most easily in the cerebellum right here. It's all of those protrusions coming throughout the cerebellum. And finally, we have the meninges. Now, I cut most of the meninges off to get to the actual brain, but there's 3 layers, and they all help protect the brain and line it. I have a little bit left on this tougher part of the cerebellum right here. But that was the sheep anatomy of a sheep brain.